Snort. True story, guys. True story. I had a very, very interesting incident that happened to me way back when I was still bowling on the Copper Belt. Way back when I was still what you would call a hustler, what you would call like a thug, violent, running things in the street, stuff like that. So one day, I cut a deal with my boys. So there was some stash that I was gonna go collect. Just, if you've been by the Copper Belt to like Kitwe to be specific, there's a marketplace they used to call Sokone Market. Yeah, so by that market, there used to be a certain joint. They used to call it White House. If you're from Kitwe or the Copper Belt, I'm sure you should be familiar with the place they called the White House. So after I got my stash, I was on my way out. Just after I left the gate, I was just right into the tarmac when something strange happened. You know that thing like there's the left lane and the right lane when you talk about the Zambian roads. So vehicles usually use the left lane. It's not like in other places or other countries in the world where you have like vehicles using the right lane. But mine was using the left lane. So I was on the right lane. Usually I like to take the right lane because I like to see oncoming cars. Or should I say oncoming vehicles. So then it so happened that as I was taking that walk on the right lane, I already got my stash, remember? I'm now heading to the hostels. By then, that was like Zip hostels. Because there was a time I used to be at Zip College, yeah? So imagine I'm walking on the right lane. I can see oncoming cars, and then all of a sudden I hear a sound of a moving. I can tell the sound of a Land Cruiser engine, and trust me, that's what I heard. So I'm on the right lane. I'm facing oncoming cars towards me, and then I hear a sound of a Land Cruiser on my left. On my left, guys. So what do? I decide to turn. It was like a voice was telling me, say, you need to turn left. So when I turned on my left, before I knew it, in about 2 meters apart, I saw a Land Cruiser, guys, in reverse mode about to hit me. Yeah, in reverse mode, I'm serious. That Land Cruiser was about to hit me in reverse mode. You know that moment like where you freeze, like you don't know what to do, whether to dive, whether to jump, to run. That's how I felt in that moment. I honestly froze. I didn't know what to do because that cruiser was about to hit me. So the moment that I saw everything that was happening around me, it's like all of a sudden my mind just froze. Like by the time my brain was processing everything, I was already in a dangerous space where anything could happen to me. I could die within seconds. So guess what I did? When I looked behind and I saw that the cruiser was about to hit me, I just stood there motionless. And then up to now, when I tell people this story, they think I'm just joking. They think I'm lying. They think I'm just creating stories. But God knows this story truly happened. Because after this incident happened, I can tell you that a couple of other things just started happening, which made me realize that this thing was beyond me. Like there was something more like supernatural that was happening in the whole process. So let me just get back to that time when the cruiser was about to hit me. Right, so the cruiser is about to hit me. I'm looking at the cruiser. And then all of a sudden, you know that thing like the moment the cruiser is about to hit me, yeah? And then all of a sudden, it's like the cruiser just swerved. You know that thing like, it's as if there was something between me and the cruiser. Like it just swerved, like it literally missed me by a few inches. And then I noticed something, you know, like, because the cruiser now, it's not like it was reversing from the right lane if I'm looking this way, yeah? It's not like the cruiser was reversing from the right lane. No, the cruiser was reversing from the left lane. And you do know that the Zambian roads actually, like they use the left lanes to go forward. So the left lane was supposed to be used for going forward. Now this cruiser was using the left lane to come backwards. So just when the cruiser was about to hit me, it swerved on the right like that. And as it was swerving, trust me, it was like, you know that thing like it misses you by inches. And then I noticed as it was swerving, the passenger door was open. It was as if the passenger door was left open deliberately. As if to say, if the cruiser doesn't hit me from the back, then it's going to hit me with the door. I don't know. I just don't know. Those were just my thoughts anyway. So now when the cruiser like missed me like that by swerving, then on the passenger side, someone fell from that side. Someone who was inside the cruiser, he fell to the ground. This is true story, like it's not like a made-up story. This thing really happened. I know it sounds like a movie or something like that, but it really happened to me. So somebody falls from that passenger seat on the cruiser, and that person falls directly next to where I stood like this. You know, like he literally fell like here. And then the cruiser now went and reversed. This was reverse fast mode, fast. Not like slow reverse, no, it was really fast. And then the cruiser went and hit into a wall on the other side. I mean, it crossed the road now and then went and hit into a wall fence. So now I'm standing there, I'm looking at that guy who fell on the tarmac where I stood. So as I'm looking at that guy, he's like trying to get up, then he falls down again. He gets up, he falls down again. So it's like that moment where I don't know, maybe I don't know what was going on, because he landed with his head on the ground. So it's like, maybe the brain was playing tricks with his mind or something. But it seemed like the coordination between his legs and his brain was not effective. So this is why whenever he would try to get up, he would fall down. So now I'm looking at that boy in that situation, and then at the same time, I'm trying to process everything that happened around me. And as that is going on, I really have no idea what to do, what to say, whether to leave that place or not. So as I'm processing everything like that, then if you've been to Sokone Market, the same one in Kitwe, if you've been there, you know that place is very crowded. There's lots and lots of people there. It's very crowded. So it so happened that when I was in that state, I really just froze completely. My brain was just processing everything. So when I started now hearing voices, that thing, it's like when your brain is somehow I don't know, it's tempered with, it even affects your senses, the way you hear and stuff. So for me, that's what happened in that moment. Before I knew it, I started hearing voices of people screaming at a distance, shouting. And they were shouting, of course, in Bemba. Saying words like, "You shan," like they were telling me to help that boy who was struggling to get up. Then at the same time, there was a mob of people running towards the driver who was driving the Land Cruiser. They wanted to do something to him. You know how people are in Zambia. That's how it is. It's crazy out here, by the way. Whenever somebody does something wrong in public, the last time I checked, there was a lady that was killed, by a mob. It's sad, but the reality is real over here. But I'm not going into those details. I just wanted to let you know that that's what was about to happen to that driver. So, as I saw what was happening around, then the people came to the scene. Some of them grabbed the driver. They were pulling him they wanted to beat him or something. Others, they were dragging him. It's like they wanted to take him to the police station or something like that. Then others came to where I was, and then they grabbed that boy, and then they were, people are so funny. Somebody probably had a concussion or whatever it was because of landing in a crazy way. Then they're asking him funny questions. So the guy couldn't speak properly. He couldn't explain. Whatever he was saying was just mumbo jumbo stuff, So now, for me, in that situation, in that moment, what happened was something else. Yeah, it was something else for me. I couldn't ask the driver or whoever. All I did was I just left that scene and I went home. By home, during that time, I meant the hostels, the Zip hostels. I went there. And then, of course, I gave the stash and whatnot to my homeboys and my whole crew. I tried to explain to them about the incident. They said, "Nah, nigga, that didn't happen." It's like, "No, bro, that didn't happen." All they said was, "Oh, probably you were just high, that's why you started imagining those things." I was like, "Guys, this thing happened first." Like, "No, we don't believe you." But guess what? From that event, or from that day, I started seeing crazy things. Things that I started seeing after that moment were just weird. I'll never be able to explain what really happened. But to this day, I strongly believe somebody was playing games with my life. Somebody was really playing games with my life. I know different people, based on different backgrounds, they will have different explanations about what happened, but I know what happened to me. Because there is no way that could happen. Then afterwards, I start seeing other things. Afterwards, I sort of like start losing my mind, like as if I'm going crazy. Like I start seeing people differently. I start seeing crazy individuals coming to me in my room, in my hostel room, like people I don't, like just weird stuff happening. I started seeing things I wasn't supposed to be seeing, if you know what I mean. It was more as if, I don't know, it's as if my eyes, like similar to that thing they say, is it like opening your third eye or something? Yeah, it was as if my third eye was opened or something. Like I started seeing things beyond the physical. That's what started happening. One day I'm going to sit down nicely, write a book about this story, because it really did happen to me. I'm going to continue this story in another video, but it's just one of those stories that actually made me believe that witchcraft is real and people really do practice witchcraft. Whether it's in Africa, whether it's in Europe, whether it's around the world, everywhere, every part of the world. Guys, witchcraft is real. Like I said, people will have different explanations for this story, this scenario that I went through, that I experienced as a person. But one thing you should know is witchcraft is real. And like I said, I'm going to continue this story in another video. So be on the lookout. Follow my YouTube channel and subscribe for more content like this. I just thought I should share this for today, because these are the kind of stories that need to be told, because the struggle is real, man. We're facing these things in every part of the world. Like, for example, trauma. How do you explain trauma? Some things are just demonic, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is no way something could be happening to someone over and over. You mean it never stops? No, something has to stop that thing. So life is spiritual. Whether we believe it or not, life is spiritual. And trust me, we need to know, we need to learn how to go about life. We need to address things from the spiritual realm so that we're able to control them in the physical. So that was part of my story, my experience on the Copper Belt, Kitwe, Sokwane Market to be specific. Yeah, in case you don't know where Kitwe is in Zambia, on the Copper Belt province. So I'm going to end here for today, and I look forward to sharing the continuation of this story in another video.